first concept in this. So, what is economic growth? Any idea? Increase in GDP? Yes. In all other simple words, increase in production? Yes, simply. Increase in production is economic growth. So, mention this simple definition. It refers to the process of increase in production. It refers to increase in process of increasing production of goods and services in an economy. Process of increase in production of goods and services in an economy over a long period of time. 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 Increase in production of goods and services in an economy over a long period of time. Okay, so normally when we say growth, usually we express over a long period of time, but long period is not very rigid. As I told you, economics is not science. So normally when we compare growth of any month or any year, what is base for that? Base is usually the last year. It's the same month of last year or same financial year, last financial year. So usually supposed to be long term actually we say, but not specific any time period is not mentioned. So it is the process of increasing production of goods and services in an economy over a long period of time. That is economic growth. Can we say it is same as increase in GDP? Yes, production is increasing, GDP will increase. So mention this second definition. It refers to persistent increase in real GDP or real per capita income. It refers to persistent increase in real GDP or real per capita income. Persistent increase in real GDP or real per capita income. What is real GDP? Actually, whenever we talk about growth, we always talk about real. We don't say GDP. We say real GDP. Any idea what is the meaning of real GDP or real per capita income? Any idea? Means we should eliminate wasting, impact of inflation. For example, last year the quantity we produce is 100 goods and price was this. Let us suppose in a country only 100 goods were produced, only one good produced. Let us suppose pen produced, so 100 pen produced. Okay, last year. Okay, maybe let us suppose in 2018 and in 2019 in this country the production remains same but price increase. Okay, what will be GDP then? Value of goods produced in a country 1000. Now next year will be 1100. So value of goods produced was 100 into 10, 1000, and now it is 100 into 11. So this year's GDP will increase to this. Okay? Is it actual growth? Economy is growing. Can we conclude? But GDP has increased. So, but GDP has increased. So what is this? It has increased because of what? Only price increase. So it is actually money value has increased, but actual production didn't increase. So real growth, when we say real, we actually have to eliminate the impact of inflation. Logic is clear. So when we say real growth, so is it real growth? Yes or no? No, this is not real growth. There will be real growth only when production will increase. Clear? So this is meaning of real. Or real per capita. Per capita income means average income. Real per capita income means average income. Let us suppose average income of people may increase by 10%. Okay, average income may increase by 10%, and inflation may be 10% in that year. Okay, for example, your salary was 50,000, now increase to 55,000. Okay, 10%. Now you have 10% more money, and value of money has reduced by 10% because inflation is 10%. Now, can you buy more goods and services? No, why? Because you have 10% more money, and value of money has reduced by 10%. So your real income has increased or not? Real per capita income not increased. So what the point? So real per capita income means your actual purchasing power should increase. You should buy more goods and services from your income. So it means that we have to eliminate inflation. Then we should real. So shall we use this word real or not? Is it needed or not? Yes, because otherwise it may seem that it is GDP may increase, but real GDP will increase when actual production will increase. Okay, and real per capita income will increase when people can buy more goods and services with their income in real terms, actual terms. So real meaning is clear. So this is meaning of economic growth, increase in production. So both definitions are similar or not? Increase in production of goods and services over a long period of time. And second definition, increase in real GDP or real per capita. Both are somewhat almost similar. In first definition, I have used the word over a long period, and in second definition, I have used the word persistent increase. So both are similar actually. These are very general definitions. Okay, that is meaning of economic growth. Now, second concept is economic development. Economic development. So, what is difference? Can you tell me what is economic development? Hmm? This economic growth will welfare, correct? The welfare should also improve. Yes or no? Yes, actually, welfare should also improve. So here it is only production increase, and here actually welfare. So growth along with welfare. So mention the simple definition. It refers to that process of economic growth. It refers to that process of economic growth. It refers to that process of economic growth which is accompanied by that process of economic growth which is accompanied by improvement in well-being of people, which is accompanied by improvement in well-being of people. So which is accompanied by improvement in well-being of people. Means that process of economic growth which is accompanied by improvement in well-being means production should increase as well as welfare should improve. That is economic and welfare should improve means well-being improvement like an example like level of education or health status should improve, poverty should reduce, inequality should reduce. That is actually development. Okay. Also, one more definition. It refers to progressive changes. It refers to progressive changes in the socio-economic structure. Progressive changes in the socio-economic structure of an economy. Socio-economic structure of an economy. It refers to progressive changes in the socio-economic structure of an economy. So progressive changes in the socio-economic structure of an economy. So that is another definition. So what are progressive economic changes? What are changes in economic structure? Progressive changes in economic structure of an economy. Like now education, no, economic, increase in income, increase in production, increase in productivity, shifting of labor from agriculture to industry and services. So that is economic changes in means progressive changes in economic structure. Now, what are progressive social changes in social structure? Like education, health, poverty, you can put in that. So socio-economic. So overall, progressive changes in socio-economic structure of an economy. That is economic development. So can we say both definitions are same or different? Like progressive change in socio-economic development, and here the production along with welfare, both are similar. So this is the basic difference. Although economists were not making distinction between these two concepts in 1950s, this distinction was created in 1950s. Now both are entirely different. Okay, now I will discuss few more points of distinction between them. This is the basic definition. Rather, you just make a table actually. Okay, economic growth and economic development. Okay, so just make a table. Okay, So economic growth means what? Increase in production, which I have dictated. Okay, I'm writing in short. Okay, production increase means economic growth, and economic development means production should increase plus what? Plus social welfare. Okay, so this is the point I have already dictated in definition. In short, I have written. Okay, other is economic growth. Can we measure this with perfection? Can we measure with recession? Can we quantify? Yes. So can you tell me last financial year what was growth of Indian economy? Acha, last year means what? Last financial year means which financial year? 2018-19. Now, which is current financial year now? 1920. So current financial year started on which date? 1st April 2019 and will end on 31st March 2020. So current financial year and the previous financial year is 2018-19. It started on 1st April 2018 and ended on 31st March 2019. So what was our growth in this financial year? How much? 6.8. So can we quantify? So what does mean? In this year we have produced 6.8% more goods and services as compared to last year. Yes, as compared to last year. Last year is 2017-18. Okay, so in this year we produced 6.8% more goods and services as compared to last year in real terms, actually. I think it is clear. So what is meaning of growth? So can we quantify this or not? Yes, yes, we have quantified this. Till last year we produced 6.8% more goods and services as compared to previous year. So it is quantitative concept. Quantitative concept. Okay, so quantitative means it can be quantified and measured with perfection. And economic development, can we quantify this? Can we say development increased by 3%, 5%? No, we cannot quantify. So this is actually qualitative. We can say improvement or deterioration, qualitative. So it is qualitative concept because we can say that improved, deteriorated. Okay, so we cannot say, can we what use increase in welfare? No, it is not appropriate. We can say improvement, not increase actually, because increase or decrease is used for a quantitative thing. So it is qualitative. Or is it qualitative or both? Quantitative as well as qualitative. Why? Both quantitative, qualitative, both or only qualitative? Concept is one or how many concepts are there? One or more? Concept is only one term, two, one. I have written number one concept. We have discussed second concept. So this is only one concept. However, it has various dimensions. One dimension, social welfare has this dimension. It has some sub dimensions like education, health, etc. So it should be clear. Concept is one only. Overall, can we quantify? No. So what is quantitative? Some dimensions can be quantified. But overall concept cannot be quantified. So this is a mistake. Even some books they have mentioned this. In some books they have mentioned is quantitative as well as qualitative. What's the point? So concept is one. How it could be both? Some of these dimensions are quantitative. Like this dimension is quantitative, but most of the dimensions are not quantitative. And it has two dimensions, one or two or many. How many dimensions are there? Many. This welfare, social welfare itself is multi-dimensional concept. Like education, health, environment, political factors. Lot of dimensions are there for welfare. Lot of dimensions are there. So this is actually what the point here. Some dimensions can be quantified, but not all dimensions. Overall concept is qualitative. So logic is clear or not? So it is wrong to take a quantitative as well as qualitative. As I told you, there is some mistake in some books actually. In one book rather I saw, not much book. So it is actually qualitative concept. Now, how many dimensions are there in economic growth? How many? Very simple, just single, that is production. So unidimensional. And how many dimensions? Two or many? Many. So multi-dimensional. So it is a multi-dimensional concept. Okay, as I told you, okay, education, health, poverty, etc., environment, etc., will come under all our dimensions of it because all these things will affect economic development, welfare. Clear? Now, economic growth. Can it be ultimate objective of an economy? Can it be ultimate objective? Objective as such? Yes or no? Hmm? Can be just objectives to just to produce? No, it is just a means. We don't want to produce more for the sake of production, for enhancing human well-being. So this is just a means actually, not an objective. To mention that it is a means or it is just a means. It is just a means. So economic growth is means. It is not an objective. Can we say economic development can be an objective? Enhancing well-being could be ultimate objective? Yes. So mention that it is an end in itself. So end means objective. So it is an end in itself. So ultimate end or objective of economic activities could be economic development. Okay, so it is just a means and it is an objective in itself. Okay. Now which is easy to achieve? Growth increasing production is easy. So can we achieve this without development? Yes. So mention this thing. It can be achieved without economic development. It can be achieved without economic development. Clear? So it is easy. Can we achieve economic development without growth? No. So we cannot rule out, but it is very unlikely. It is very rare that we can achieve development without growth. So mention that uh, economic development it can seldom be achieved. Seldom is rare. SELDOM. Seldom. Seldom is very rare. It can seldom be achieved without economic growth. 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 Okay, so it is very means seldom is rare, very rare. Means we cannot rule out, we cannot say it is not possible to achieve this without this, but it is very rare that there could be development without growth. So it can seldom is rare, seldom be achieved without economic growth, or it is unlikely to be achieved without economic growth. Okay, it is unlikely to be achieved. Okay, and finally, indicators. How we measure economic growth? Hmm? GDP. Now there is a correction needed in this. Real. Whenever we talk about GDP, because GDP is increasing here also. Okay, so real GDP. And other real per capita income. PCI. Per capita means average income. National income upon population is per capita income, average income. So real GDP or real per capita income may be used. Now, which is more commonly used? Commonly, which one is used? GDP is used. Just like I told you, the Indian economy grew at the rate of 6.8%, and world economy grew how much last year? Around 3.6%. So, and that was also GDP growth. So, world GDP grew at 3.6% last year. Indian economy is 6.8%. So, normally this is used, but it may be used. Okay. Now, what are indicators for this? The most important indicator is Human Development Index (HDI). Any other or only one? Lot of indicators are there. Like other हाँ, multi-dimensional index of poverty MPI. The poverty also reflects level of development. Yes or no? Yes, because more poverty means the level of development should be low. Okay, other like some psychological well-being, like World Happiness Report. World Happiness Report. So we will discuss in detail World Happiness Index. Okay, so happiness is what a psychological well-being. So various indices are there. We will discuss separately in detail. So we will discuss in next section rather. The factors of economic development. So in first section we shall discuss the basic concepts. So we have discussed two concepts: economic growth and economic development. So any doubt in these concepts? Clear? Very simple. Economic human development index are quantitative. Yes, certainly it is quantitative. But now question is that is it possible to quantify this? Can we quantify this? No. But HDI tries to quantify this. So this quantification is perfect. HDI is perfect. No. So it is quantitative. But here quantification is not perfect. It's just it is an endeavor to quantify. I will discuss in detail HDI why it is not perfect and why what issues are there. Okay. Any other doubt? Hmm? And now next third topic is inclusive growth only. So one we have discussed economic growth, other we have discussed economic development. Now third concept is inclusive growth. So what inclusive growth? What was your question? Is it same as economic development? Is it same as economic development? Yes or no? Inclusive growth. It is close to economic growth or economic development? Economic development. Now the question is that is it same as uh, economic development or different? Same or different? Hmm? Hmm? Same or not? Yes or no? Okay, so obviously it's not same. Otherwise, why I have mentioned third point? I could have written uh, or this or inclusive growth. So certainly different. So what is different? Can you tell me the main difference in economic development and inclusive growth? Which is broader, inclusive growth or economic development? Development or inclusive growth? Inclusive growth. Why? Hmm? Population, well-being. You want to say well-being is there in this as well as in this. Development is broader. So it is difficult to answer this question. First, write down definition. So write down one definition. To mention that the United Nations Development Program, the United Nations Development Program, UNDP in short. So UNDP is a very important organization we'll be using again and again. The United Nations Development Program, UNDP, defined it as, in inverted commas, it is a process, in inverted commas, it is a process as well as an outcome. It is a process as well as an outcome where all groups of people, process as well as an outcome, where all groups of people have participated, where all groups of people have participated in the organization of growth, where all groups of people have participated in the organization of growth and have benefited and have benefited equitably from it and have benefited equitably from it. and have benefited equitably from it. Inverted commas close. And have benefited equitably from it. Okay, I repeat the definition. It is a process as well as an outcome where all groups of people have participated in the organization of growth and have benefited equitably from it. Okay, this is definition of inclusive growth as per UNDP. Now, can you tell me difference between inclusive growth and economic development? Which is broader now, inclusive growth or economic development? What is how it is broader? What? No, no. Uh, uh, Economic development also means well-being of people. Does not mean a few people only. Participation. Yes, the more core element is participation. If people should be participating in the growth process. Okay, so I will make a distinction with them. So, uh, which is broader overall, inclusive growth or economic development? Inclusive growth. Now just rather make a comparison. Economic development and inclusive growth. Economic development is what? Is a process or outcome. It is an. I told you it is an end. End means outcome. So it is actually an end. I told you already. It is an end in itself. So what is here? End means what here? Outcome means what outcome we want here? Social welfare or simply welfare. So ultimately, focus of economic development is to enhance welfare. Clear? And what is this inclusive growth? It is an outcome, enhancing well-being, and here means as well as outcome, both things are there in this. So it is actually a means. Means actually, this process means of process and outcome. So outcome here is same as welfare, yes or no? So outcome here is welfare or profit or any efficiency, any other thing. Common sense. Here welfare outcome is first we shall discuss outcome means end. So it is a process as well as an outcome means an outcome. So outcome can be the same as welfare or equally benefit. Everybody will benefit equally. Hmm? Is it practically possible? Everybody will get equal benefit. So shall we include profit here also? Outcome is same or different? I mean to say here outcome is welfare. So here it is same or welfare. What we want, what outcome should be there in this? Welfare plus profit. No, profit is important. You know, from when we say national level, no. Ultimately, welfare. Profit will, because if you are doing business, you are not earning profit, you will be poor. So welfare will include profit, efficiency, everything. So ultimate thing is welfare. Same thing. Outcome cannot be different. Ultimate objective of all economies or every policy is welfare. Welfare of people overall. Welfare. Now here the difference is that the focus is to enhance welfare here only, and here focus is to enhance welfare, and it is also sensitive towards the process. Now, what should be process? Process should be participative process. Through a participative process, welfare, it is objective is to enhance well-being, and here to enhance well-being, welfare by a inclusive process, participative process here. So process should be what? Participative. So it means that this is concerned with the enhancing well-being as well as sensitive toward the process of enhancing well-being. In what manner you are enhancing well-being? So well-being should be increased through a participative process. And participative means the focus is on which aspect here? Participative means how people will participate in economic activities. So what is focus here? Participative means what? Focus is on which thing? How people participate through employment. So focus on employment here. If we have to enable people to contribute to economic activities and they should benefit in that manner, their welfare should increase. Okay. So this concept actually was developed relatively in the last 2 decades, and economists are saying that government should not focus just on enhancing well-being, but government should also be sensitive towards the means of enhancing well-being. It should be up to a participative process. What the point? Which growth is expected to be more sustainable? This, because when people will start participating, they will get job, then they will continue contribute, they will enhance human capabilities also. Clear? Okay, but the difference is clear. So main here to enhance well-being only, and here is to enhance well-being, but with an inclusive process. So we have to be sensitive toward the process of enhancing welfare also. Both things we have to be concerned. But process is also important or not? And in developed countries, they have become developed. America, Europe, they are developed countries. Okay. So they have become developed countries. The capitalist system has been successful. But do you think the process was just process? There was significant exploitation, class struggle. So they adopted an inclusive growth process. No, actually. So now situation is okay. But about 30, 50, 40, 40, 50 years back, what was the situation? 40, 50, 60 years back, there was significant exploitation of poor people actually. The process was not inclusive. Process was not just actually. So we have to develop, promote and enhance value of people with a just and inclusive process. Was this clear? Okay. Like subsidies and welfare payments like old age pension, widow pension are called redistributive policy. So I will discuss the redistributive policies or measures. Okay, redistributive measures. Example of redistributive measure is subsidies, welfare payments, to redistributive measures, subsidies. So these measures can achieve enhanced well-being of people. If government will give subsidized food to everybody, very cheap food, and government may to vulnerable sections like old age people, widows, or handicapped, government may transfer money in their account, just like widow pension, disability pension scheme is there. So would it enhance welfare or not, economic development? Yes or no? Yes. Okay? Because those people who are vulnerable, they will at least buy basic amenities. Okay? Now, this thing can achieve inclusive growth also or not? Yes or no? Welfare will increase or not? So inclusive growth will be there or not? No. Well-being will increase, but that is not a process or was not participative. Okay, they will not be hungry, they will get basic amenities, but actually the process also has to be, we have to be sensitive to process. Process will not be participative. They did not earn. We government gave them some money so that their well-being improved. They have got access to basic amenities. So redistributive policies, measures like subsidies, welfare payments cannot achieve inclusive. Decentralization and devolution uh, will help in achieving inclusive growth. Yes or no? Yes, why not? Decentralization will help, but it will also help in achieving economic development also. So here main thing is that the people should contribute to economic development, to this production process, and they should benefit. It should not be freebie given to them and hence they are getting access to basic amenities, their well-being may improve. No, they should contribute and then will should benefit. Manrega to some extent will increase. Now, clear? Okay, so this basic difference I think should be clear. Now, what is core element? What are features or components So features or components of inclusive growth. Okay, so broad, uh, we can divide this in two categories. So, okay, in some sources they have divided in categories, but I'm dividing categories. Somewhere they have written just what are features. So broad, I am dividing in two categories. One is actually enhance human. Now, how to achieve inclusive growth? So, what are features or what components are there? So, one is human capabilities. One is that we have to enhance human capabilities. Can you tell me how we can enhance human capabilities? So does it mean what does it mean? Can we say human capabilities and we may call it enhancing employability, enhancing employability. So can we say it means the employment generation? Yes or no? No, it is not employment generation. It means making people capable of doing job, not creating jobs. Employment generation, different thing. Okay, so one thing is increasing employability, and second thing is employment generation. People are educated, healthy, then we have to create job for them and employment generation. So two important components are there. First is that we have to enhance human capabilities, make them employable, and second, now here what is included in this? What are components? So mention few components. In first one, like health, people should be healthy, they should get proper nutrition. People should be educated, people should be skilled, skill development. Okay, so health, education, skill development. Other is basic amenities. Sanitation, nutrition will come under this basic amenities. Basic amenities. Any other thing? Basic amenities. Other is even equal opportunities to all. Uh, Equal opportunities. Opportunities are not only job opportunities. Opportunities could be education, health, other basic things. So opportunities you are having in mind job opportunities. So for everything, like for accessing basic things, equal opportunities, there should not be any discrimination. And even women empowerment is a component because women empowerment will is related with this equal opportunities for all. Yes? So these things in general are needed to enhance human capability. If people should be healthy, educated, trained. Okay, they should get basic amenities so that they should be fully developed. So one thing is that to make people employable. Now second, what we have to do then, people are healthy, educated, skilled. Then second thing, we have to create jobs, employment generation. Now how to create jobs? So employment generation, like one which how where if you want to work, where will you be working? Either government job or in private sector. Private sector, where will you work in private sector? Organization is which kind of organization? Mainly business. So if you will establish a business company, you have to make investment. So one most important thing is to promote investment is establishing new factory. It may be called capital formation. We'll discuss in detail capital formation. So which is government scheme, most important scheme to promote investment, to encourage establishment of business in India. Most important is Make in India. We will discuss in much detail actually these things. So I'm just giving you reference because in industry it is long topic Make in India. Okay, to focus of Make in India is on which thing? In one word. In mainly improving which thing? Improving how to promote investment. This is objective. How? To improve ease of doing business by reducing the procedural aspects and making it easier for doing business. Okay, improving business environment. Okay, ease of doing business. In detail, we will discuss. Like proceed hurdles, etc. should be less. Okay, other is like if a person is unemployed, so either you can do job in a company or you may establish your own company. So then we will call it entrepreneurship development. Entrepreneurship, ENTREPRENEURSHIP. Entrepreneurship development. Like we should enable people to establish their own business, like Startup India, schemes for that, like Startup India, Stand Up India. Okay, Startup India, Stand Up India, even Mudra to some extent, Mudra Yojana. Okay, so we will discuss in detail as I told you. Other thing is that what type of companies create more jobs, small or big? Usually, small companies are more labor intensive. So, support to micro, small, and medium enterprises, MSME. Support to micro, small, and medium. Support to micro, small, and medium enterprises. Because why? Government is consistently supporting the small companies, MSMEs, micro, small, and medium enterprises. Why? Because of the most important reason is that they are important for employment generation. So from independence till now, a lot of schemes are there to support this. Even Mudra Yojana, a lot of schemes are there separately. We will discuss. Okay, all of these topics are we will discuss actually in detail, like MSME, this investment, etc. Other is what other things common can do. Like some sectors, just like MSMEs are more labor intensive, especially some sectors are more labor intensive. So shall government promote that? Yes. So support to labor intensive sector. Support to labor intensive sector. Can you give me example of labor intensive sector? Textile, textiles or garment industry, textile, or maybe called clothing. Any other? Other is not so much. Infrastructure not so much. So textiles industry. Other is this footwear including leather, footwear and leather. Other food processing industry. So food processing industry, that is why I mentioned separately in your labor. So food processing industry. Other sector, construction. So construction sector. So these are highly labor intensive sectors. Okay, so government has been supporting these or not? Yes. Even 2 years back, there was a chapter in economic survey, clothes and shoes. Clothes and shoes, why? These clothes means they have mentioned in the chapter that these sectors are highly labor intensive, means apparel sector like ready-made garments, and shoes means related with the footwear and leather sector. So these are highly labor intensive, and there is significant scope of export potential also. There are some benefits. So government provided one package for these sectors. Okay, and these sectors are being supported by government because of this thing. Okay, other is that government can start some programs to create jobs, like employment generation program. But what is full name of those employment generation program, like Manrega? So what is Manrega is put under which category? Employment generation program. What is full name of that category? No, that is called poverty alleviation and employment generation program. So poverty alleviation and employment generation program. Poverty alleviation and employment generation program. Okay, so poverty alleviation and employment generation program. Okay, so so these are actually interrelated, like Manrega and lot of other programs are there. So Manrega means, under Manrega, what happens to like road is constructed or minor irrigation or some trees are planted, what is benefit? One thing is that one infrastructure developed like road, etc. And second, people get jobs. The focus on jobs. And other kind of schemes are self-employment programs, where government will give training and then bank will provide loan so that you can set up your own small business. So that are self-employment. So in detail we will discuss later. So employment generation, these are some important measures for employment generation. Okay, in unemployment next chapter we will also revisit these things again. Okay, but in detail separate sections we will take up. Okay, so we are talking about inclusive growth. So what is needed for inclusive? What are features or components? Components are we have to enhance capability of people, make them employable, and we have to create job for people so that everybody will be employed. So then it will lead to inclusive growth. So difference I think is clear between economic development and inclusive growth. So do you think the policy makers should also be sensitive towards the process also or not? Should they just enhance focus on enhancing well-being? Process is also important because process should also be just inclusive process should be there, and that process will lead to more self-sustained growth. The difference is clear. Okay, so three concepts we have discussed: economic growth, economic development. Those are very clear, and but here minor difference here. Yes, so in the last 2 decades, as I told you, so there is the economists are saying it just not government should not just focus on anything well-being, but also should also be sensitive towards the process. Okay, even in means one question was asked on the inclusive growth. Means what are features of inclusive growth? And second component, do you think India is experiencing such a growth process? And third point in third section was that suggest measures to achieve inclusive growth. So first thing is that means features of inclusive growth. So simply you have to give definition. You can give definition and these are features. Okay. Now India is experiencing, but I have not discussed anything. But on the basis of whatever you have idea, so India has been experiencing such a growth process. Yes or no? Yes, no, partial. Hmm? Obviously, answer is partial. So because as far as growth is concerned, we are one of the fastest growing economy in the world. So rather in this chapter, like in indices, and next chapter about Indian economy, I will give you much data about this. I just give brief idea. So obviously, answer is partial and more close to yes or no. Rather more close to no. More close to no in the sense it will be clear in the next section when I give you India's ranking in various human development indices, various indices which measures well-being. So as far as growth is concerned, we are one of the fastest growing economy in the world in the last 3 decades. Growth is very high. But were we successful in converting growth into development? No. So if our rank on most of the social variables actually indicators is very low. So I will give you actually data in various actually indices. So partial, you can say, in not much. Although growth has been very high, but we were not very successful to convert that growth into inclusive growth. This is the has been a problem. Even jobless growth I will discuss separately in the next chapter in comment. So overall, I will give you data in that. Now the third part is that suggest measures. So what do you think suggest? Simply, government should focus in this. Social sector expenditure should be increased. Effectiveness of development programs should be increased, and on job creation, these measures. Okay, so suggestion will be related to this. Okay, just I give you ID, but things are interrelated, interdependent. So in writing means answer, you have to correlate from other things also. Okay, so this is just this idea I give you. Okay, so we have discussed these three concepts. Now another concept is human development. Human development. So human development is what is human development? Can we say enhancing well-being of people? Yes. So just write down one definition of UNDP. So mention that as per UNDP. Okay, as per UNDP in inverted commas, it is it is the process of widening people's choices. Widening people's choices. People's choices. Widening people's choices. As well as raising the level of well-being, widening people's choices, as well as raising the level of well-being achieved. As well as raising the level of well-being achieved. Is whatever level of well-being which is already achieved, we have to further enhance that level of well-being. The process of widening people's choices as well as raising the level of well-being achieved. So whatever level of well-being we have achieved, we have to further enhance that level of well-being. Can we see and what is meaning of choices? You know, uh, as a first, I'll explain the second component as well as raising the level of well-being achieved. So whatever level of well-being achieved, we have to enhance that well-being. So human development means enhancing well-being, and first component in that process of widening people's choices. So actually, widening people's choices means we should increase the choices to the people. So normally with development, choices increases or not? Yes. For example, poor people, do they have much choices? No, they don't have much choices. Choice means for poor person has to take lunch, so can go to any restaurant. No, has to reside, can rent accommodation in anywhere. No, want to send children to school, so obviously selected options are there. So normally with development, choices with people increases or not? And can we say increasing widening of people's choices, does it reflect welfare? Yes, because you have more choice, you have more options, you will select which option which will give you more satisfaction. So when choices will increase, the scope of well-being will. So both are almost same. So in simple words, definition is not very important here. Only should have idea that enhancing well-being is human development. Okay, so definition, I just gave you definition, but not very important. Inclusive growth is a very important concept. So question can again be asked, but only idea that enhancing welfare. So both are almost similar. Enhancing choices and enhancing well-being in human development. Now, can you tell me difference in it is close to which concept? Economic growth, economic development, economic development. Now, can you tell me difference between economic development and human development? Can you tell me difference? Very close. Economic development and human development. Hmm? Hmm? There is also production, not as such. So, production without production, welfare will not be possible. Main difference. Can you tell me difference development and human development? Actually, it's very difficult because very close. Hmm? Outcome, but this is also outcome. Human welfare, human development is also same. No, actually, it's very difficult. Actually, both are almost same, or rather same. But what is difference then? Difference is in perspective. So, difference in the two is perspective. Here, when we are talking from a human perspective, enhancing well-being of people, we mean what? Human development. When we are talking about enhancing well-being of people in an economy, then we mean okay. So, when we are talking about human perspective in general, then human development, enhancing well-being. Okay, and when we are talking about enhancing well-being of people in an economy, then economic development. What the point? So what is relation? Can we say economic development means what? Or you mentioned this thing, human development in an economy is economic development. Human development in an economy. So when we talk about human development in the context of an economy, then that is economic development. Clear? So actually the difference is in perspective. Concept is same here, well-being, human well-being, but the perspective is a human perspective in general when we talking about enhancing well-being of people, and when we talk in the context of an economy, then become economic. As I told you, human development index. What is indicator of this? HDI. So human development index measures what? Economic development, but does not measure human development. Human development index. So it measures human development. But since it measures human development from the in our economy, like in India and other countries, then we may call it economic development. Logic is clear. So both concepts are almost same. The only difference is in perspective. It is general human perspective. It is in the context of an economy. Okay? If I say enhancing well-being of people, what does it mean? Human development. And if I say in this economy, then economic development. Clear? Okay. Another term is human resource development. This human resource development, HRD. So can you tell me meaning of human resource development? So which is broader, human development or human resource development? Human development? Hmm? Why? Human resource development. Human resource को develop किया तो this is broader. Resource word is there in this. So this is long. Resource means it will become more resourceful. Hmm? Capabilities. Okay, just write down definition then. Just tell me. So it refers to the simple definition. It refers to the process of enhancing productive potential of human beings. It refers to the process of enhancing productive potential of human beings. Enhancing productive potential of human beings. Process of enhancing productive potential of human beings. So enhancing productive potential of human beings. So what is meaning of productive potential? Like we have to provide them health facilities, people should be healthy, educated, skilled. So then actually productivity will increase. Now can you tell me which is now broader? Human development. Why? Why it is narrow? It does not cover health. No, why not? If people will not be healthy, how they will be contributing to production? So, so overall difference is very significant here. So this answer is to be very easy. Then which is broader? Obviously, human development. Actually, human resource development is very narrow concept. Here, it used not to enhance well-being. Here, it means enhancing well-being of people. And here, objective is not to enhance well-being. Objective is to enhance to make people more productive. Objective is to make people more productive. It means that it views human beings merely as what? Merely as a productive resource. Okay, so it views human beings merely as a productive resource. Okay? So, and here overall development of human beings. Any doubt in this? So here focus is to enhance productivity of people. The people should become more productive. They should be educated, skilled, healthy. But here focus is to overall level of well-being. It would it include social cultural factors as such? Here social cultural psychological factors will be covered here also. So here focus on enhancing productivity only, and here focus on enhancing overall welfare. Okay, and it views human beings merely as a productive resource, nothing more than that. Just like we can make invest in material things, we can make machinery factories, production will increase. We can invest similarly, we can invest in human beings to make them more productive by education. So this is very nice. Clear? Even resource development means के enhancing productivity of human beings. हाँ. So human resource development include है नहीं है? Anybody can answer? Yes, why not? Everything, all aspects, overall well-being. So education, health, literacy, job, everything is important for enhancing well-being of people. Why not? Reducing measure can help, like enhancing well-being for people to get access to basic amenities if they will get subsidy, etc. Okay, so human resource development is there's a term called human capital formation. So human capital formation is more close to which one? Human capital formation. Like capital means mainly machinery factory in general. But when we say that is economic capital or physical capital, and human capital, so can we say it is same as human capital formation? Yes or yes? Yes, same. Human capital formation. So is same as human capital formation. So human, uh, like when we invest in material things, machine, we can make physical capital, machinery. And if we invest in human beings in the form of education training, we are creating human capital. They both will increase productivity, production. Either we invest in machinery, physical things, or we invest in human beings. So both will increase productivity, production. So clear? So human resource development and human capital formation are exactly same. So any doubt in the concept? Okay. Another is what are types of capital? One, as I told you, economic or physical. Economic or physical capital. What is this economic capital or physical capital? It includes machinery, factory, equipment, etc. Means physical stock of machinery, factory, capital. Normally, when we say capital in economics, we mean this machinery, factory. Okay. So physical capital or economic capital means machinery, factory. Okay, equipment, etc. So which will help in increasing production. So capital means anything which assists production. Okay, to machinery, factory assists production, increases productivity. No. Then is human capital. So can you tell me what is human capital? Uh, that is what? Uh, it means human resources. Human capital means human resources. Human resources. Or in other words, we can say the quantity and quality of labor force. Mainly labor force. Quantity and quality of labor force. Mainly labor force. Labor force means all people are included in labor force. No, only working is people who are willing to work, who are available for work or maybe working. So labor force quantity means how much labor force is there, and more people, more labor force, more human capital. And quality means their education, skill, health level of labor force. That is actually human capital. Okay, quantity means that labor force, more people, more labor force means more human capital, and more actually more skilled, educated than more human capital. So clear, human capital. Any doubt? One more capital, social capital. Social capital. So what is social capital? Social capital means social things, what? Relations among people, interaction, etc. So it includes what? It includes interpersonal relations, interpersonal relations, mutual trust, mutual trust, coordination, coordination, etc. among people, people or labor force even. So interpersonal relations, mutual trust, coordination, cooperation among people. Okay, that is called social capital. This is social aspect. Now, for increasing production, do we need all three? Obviously, machinery factory, better quality of machine factory, then more production, more educated labor, skilled labor can production more. Even this is important or not? Yes, this may be possible as people are highly educated, skilled, trained, but there are ego clashes. There are actually, means tussle between the workers, etc. So, can production be affected or not? Yes. So, even social capital is also important for a nation or any organization. So, these are three types of capital: economic or physical capital, then human capital, and social capital. So, in prelims this year, they have asked what is social capital. Okay, so clear, I think, meaning of capital. This I have just deviated because I have used the word capital word here. So what is meaning of capital? But capital is actually used in very various means. Even money invested in a business may be called capital. So capital may be used in different contexts. But in economics, when we use the word capital, we mean this thing. In general, machinery factory. Okay, other thing like money invested in a business. And in money uses for day-to-day transactions of business is called working capital. So we'll discuss later other meanings of capital. But in general, capital means this thing. Clear? Apart from that, there is a word uh, standard of living. This is not just economics, rather English word. Standard of living. So, what is the standard of living? Any idea? Standard of living. Can you express the standard of living in words? This is English word as such, not as such an economic term, but we will be using this. So, standard of living is broad or narrow? Broad. So, what is meaning of standard of living? Quality of life. In means two marker question was asked. What is quality of life? Is it same as quality of life? No. So what is standard of living? Hmm? Related to other indicators. Remember per capita income. Correct? Hmm? Yes. So if it is determined by per capita income, what does this reflect? It shows what? Standard of living shows what? The standard of living shows economic growth. It shows what access to material things, material goods and services. So it shows what? It shows access to material goods and services. Access to material goods and services. So to what extent you have material goods and your access to material goods and services depends on what? Per capita income. More income, more goods you can buy. Higher standard of living you can enjoy, more goods and services. Okay, so it is measured by this thing, measured by per capita income. Okay, so per capita income reflects the standard of living, or rather we may call it real per capita income also. Okay, the per capita income of a country shows what is standard of living, how much people have material access to material goods and services. Okay? So does it include standard of living? Does also include social factors, cultural factors? Yes or no? No. It does not reflect social factor, cultural factor, psychological factor. If a person actually is actually very frustrated and maybe highly tensed and is frustrated, but person may be very rich, may have lot of wealth, possible. The standard of living of that person will be high or low? Will be very high. Person is very rich, have lot of goods and services, but may be frustrated. Yes, so that welfare is reflected here. No, it does not reflect. It shows material things only. Clear? And what is quality of life? So in these two marker question was asked, what is quality of life? Now can you explain quality of life? Life expectancy, not as such. Quality of life, which is broader, quality of life or standard of living? Quality of life. So it shows which thing. Hmm? Well, well-being, health, well-being. Can we say it shows well-being, welfare? Hmm? Yes, it shows well-being, level of well-being actually. Well-being or level of well-being. So quality of life means well-being level. Okay, can you interrelate between the economic development is related with which concept? Standard of living or quality of life? Quality of life. So can you give me uh, relation between quality of life and economic development? In one sentence, can you use these words? Quality of life and economic development. Economic development reflects what, or this reflects which aspect reflects this? Hmm? Economic development, more the economic development, that will be quality of life. Yes, actually, what is economic development? Economic development means improvement in quality of life. If quality of life is improving, means welfare is improving, and that is economic development. So this is almost same. But economic development is a economic term. This is just an English word. Although in economics, they have in names they have asked this two markers. What is quality of life? I think clear. There is an index will discuss physical quality of life index. Okay, so after this we'll discuss. Hmm, no, not affordability as such. Affordability you can link this with can you have access to this good or not? That shows this affordability. Here it has various aspects. Can we say standard of living is also a part of this? Yes. Well-being will depend on this also, with access to material things. Because if person may not have money, person cannot be quality of life cannot be good actually. So this is much broader. And enhancing this is economic development. Any doubt? So clear because okay, things are learning is you should discriminate how it is similar, how it is different from other things. And until unless you correlate things, see how they are different, similar, so you won't get a holistic view. Otherwise, there will always be confusion. So here, I think it should be clear now. Concepts. Okay, one more concept now related to development, the last concept, but which is very different from others. Okay, clear. I again give you recap. We have discussed how many concepts. Economic growth simply means production of goods and services in an economy. Okay, and economic development means increasing production as well as welfare, or simply welfare. Okay, then we have discussed inclusive growth, that is welfare along with inner participative process focus on employment. Okay, and I told you human development is almost same as economic development. When we say enhancing well-being of people, we mean this. When we say enhancing well-being in an economy, then it becomes economic development. Human capital formation or human resource development is narrow, and the focus is to enhance well-being and not well-being, productivity of human beings. Focus on increasing productivity, productive potential only. Okay, clear. So, and standard of living is very narrow. This shows access to material goods and measured by per capita income. And enhancing quality of life simply means economic development or human development. Okay, now last concept in this, but which is very different from these concepts, that is sustainable development. Now, how many concepts we have discussed? Five, I think. This is sustainable development. So, can you tell me what is sustainable development? Yes. So, development, keeping in mind the resource availability for future, it means that the development that could be sustained in future. Okay. So I think very clear. So we have to take care mainly with development. Actually, process should be sustainable. And this thing is threatening sustainability. Can we say environmental degradation is sustaining, affecting sustainability? Resources depletion is. So we have to take care of resources, environment along with development. That is sustainable development. Okay, to mention this. So this is somewhat different because mainly environmental aspect is there in this. So mention this thing. It refers to that process refers to the process of development, the process of economic development refers to the process of economic development that can be sustained in future. Process of economic development that can be sustained in future. Process of economic development that can be sustained in future. Okay, but one famous, this is very simple definition. Now, one famous definition is given by one organization, which rather one commission. To write down name of the commission, that is UN World Commission on Environment and Development. The UN World Commission, UNWCED, UN World Commission on Environment and Development. The UN World Commission on Environment and Development. This commission was headed by which person? Mrs. Brundtland, Brundtland, Brundtland. So she was actually, it was a summit. Summit means attended by heads of state. So she was Prime Minister of Norway. So it gave one report in 1987, and the name of the report was Our Common Future. Our Common Future. In that document, in that Our Common Future, one definition was given which is commonly used. In most of the books, you might have read that definition. Okay. So, but actually, this first commission when is not so important. Second is much more important. The same commission was constituted again in 1992 in Rio de Janeiro, and that is called Earth Summit. So Earth Summit is more important because some decisions were taken to reduce pollution, etc. But definition given by this first commission is very famous. So write down the definition given by this commission. So mention this. The commission defined it as the commission defined it means sustainable development as in inverted commas development that meets sustainable development as the development that meets the needs of present that meets the needs of present without compromising, that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations, without compromising the ability of future generations, without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs, without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs, without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Okay, so what is this development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs? It means that a development process will be sustainable if the present generation, like we will be meeting our needs actually of development, we should develop in such a manner which will not compromise the ability of future generations in meeting their own needs. It means that in development process, whatever opportunities we have, we should leave the similar opportunities for coming generations. For example, some resources are limited. If we use up all resources, then our future generation may not have access to those resources, like, for example, fossil fuels. So if we will use up this coal, petroleum, then there will not be such resource in future. Apart from that, we are normally gradually degrading environment. Then in future, even this level of development could not be possible. Even living will be difficult actually. So overall, we should develop in such a manner. In development, actually, we should ensure that future generation can continue this process. The level should not come down because what we did in the last 100 years or 200 years, if we repeat that, then a time would come after 100 years or 500 years, time would come we will be having ACs, cars, but we won't be having fuel to run them. And apart from that, just like environment is degrading, then it will be difficult to breathe also. So even surviving will be difficult. Development will be a next step towards that. So this is the problem. We have to take care of environmental resources. So can we say it is related with what? Intergenerational equity? Yes or no? Yes. So mention this thing. It calls for intergenerational equity. It calls for intergenerational equity. So what is meaning of intergenerational equity? Intergeneration equity means whatever opportunities we have, our generation, future generation should have similar opportunities. We should not reduce their opportunities. Okay. Normally, human activities degrade environment. Yes or no? Yes. But to some extent, environment can rejuvenate itself. Yes or no? For example, we emit carbon dioxide, but plants can convert carbon dioxide into oxygen. So, but there is a capacity of environment or not? How much carbon dioxide they can convert to oxygen? Yes. If we emit carbon dioxide within that limit, no problem, plants can convert it into oxygen, no problem. But if we emit carbon dioxide beyond that capacity, then percentage of carbon dioxide will start increasing in air, global warming, etc. The problem. So what is that limit? No problem, we may degrade environment, but within the limit within which environment can rejuvenate itself. What is the name of that limit? Hmm? The limit to which environment can rejuvenate itself, can absorb our adverse impact, that is called carrying capacity. So mention this thing also. It is related with carrying capacity. It is related with carrying capacity. Related with carrying capacity. That is capacity of environment. That is capacity of environment to absorb. That is capacity of environment to absorb adverse impact of human activity. Capacity of environment to absorb adverse impact of human activity. Capacity of environment to absorb adverse impact of human activity. Okay, so it means that we may degrade environment, but within that limit, within carrying capacity. And if we degrade environment beyond that carrying capacity, then there will be permanent damage to environment and sustained development will be affected. In prelims, even this was asked, sustained development is related with which thing? I guess 4 5 years back. So, correct option was carrying capacity. Okay, so and what we are doing actually, we are degrading environment beyond carrying capacity. One thing, and second thing is that we are reducing carrying capacity. How? That we are actually cutting forest trees, so that will reduce the carrying capacity also. Okay, so now what are features of sustainable development? What is meaning of sustainable development here? Features will give an idea. Features of sustainable development as in short. Can we say increase in GDP or real GDP? Is it a feature of sustainable development? Increase in real GDP? Yes or no? Hmm? Yes or no? Why? Hmm? Production should increase. Why should increase? Why? Why no? Resources are limited. So increase in real GDP should be a feature. Yes or no? Common sense. Why no? What is the topic? Is it environmental protection? It is sustainable development. So production should increase. It doesn't mean that we should not develop. We should just take care of environment. We should leave our actually job and business and take care of environment. No, it is not that. So it is actually increase in real GDP. Logic is clear because objective here is not to take care of environment only. We have to develop, but in such a manner that environment should be conserved. So here, social welfare is included or not? Social welfare. So we have to social welfare or well-being we have to do because we have to develop, okay? And other conservation of environment, conservation of environment. So these are the features of sustainable development. Like we have to increase production welfare and in a sustainable manner, taking care of environment. So this is sustainable development. If we talk about first only, this is feature of this one, economic growth, and first two feature of economic development. And if we include this also, then becomes sustainable development. Okay. In other words, we can say how many dimensions are there in this dimensions. What are dimensions? Can we say it has economic dimension? Yes or no? Yes. One is economic. Can we say it has social dimension? Yes or no? Yes. Social dimension. Any other dimension? Environmental dimension, economic dimension, social dimension, environmental dimension. Any other dimension? Hmm? Political. Political dimension is there? Yes or no? Yes. Why? Why? Anybody? Political factors are very important to achieve this objective. Anybody in favor of no? Hmm? Political factors. Can you repeat? Government policies are important to achieve this. So, but actually, it is not the dimension. No. Can you tell me logic for that? It is not dimension. Only three. No. No. Actually, political factors are important to achieve this. But don't you think political factors are also important for economic growth also? Everything important, but it's not a part of this concept. Political factors are important to achieve this, but it's not a part of this concept as such. Okay, it has only three dimensions. So what's the point here? The political factors are important to achieve this, but it's not a part of this concept as such. Clear? So only three dimensions are there, not political. This is a common confusion that political factors are important to become part of this. No. So political factors are important to achieve this concept, but it's not a part of this concept as such. So these are related with these features. Economic dimension reflected here, social dimension reflected here, environmental dimension reflected here. Clear? And these are interrelated or independent dimensions. Social, economic, environmental, interrelated. So normally in books, usually they make this kind of circle, this kind of Venn diagram, like economic, social, and environmental. So these are interrelated concepts. Clear? So three-dimensional concept. Now, how we measure sustainable development? So what are indicators? So indicators of sustainable development. So GDP, economic growth we measure by GDP, real GDP. Economic development by HDI. So which GDP is used? Which is used? Actually, it is used real GDP. No, not real, rather green GDP. Green GDP. So indicator here is green GDP. So what is green GDP? So actually in green GDP, what we do in production process, there is some environmental degradation or not? Yes. So we give money value to that and minus that from the GDP, from the value of GDP. GDP is value of goods produced. From that, whatever is money value, environmental degradation, we minus that in this manner. Yes. So mention this. If it is the adjusted for GDP adjusted for the cost of environmental degradation. It is the GDP adjusted for the cost of environmental degradation. GDP adjusted for the cost of environmental degradation. GDP adjusted for the cost of environmental degradation. Cost of environmental degradation. Okay, GDP adjusted for the cost of environmental degradation. So whatever is degradation to environment, it is GDP adjusted for that. So simply value of goods and services produced minus the money value. We have to give money value to pollution, depletion of resources, etc. And then this matter. So if green GDP is increasing, that is saying we are sustainable development. Okay, and but estimation of this environmental cost actually is easy. Money value of environmental degradation. So it is very difficult. But some countries have their own conventions to give money value to pollution and other resource depletion, etc. So they estimate. In India, we don't measure till now, but we are planning to introduce this concept in India. So till now, for us, it is by and large theoretical only. Because practically, when it will be adopted, then it will become more important to what are norms for measuring green. Okay, so by and large theoretical concept. Even in means two marker question was asked on this, what is green GDP? Earlier, other is genuine savings. Genuine saving. So saving actually why saving is related with sustainable development. Any reason why saving is related with sustainable development? Any reason? Any logic? Because why people save for future? So it is getting the future. We should not consume everything. We should keep something for future. But it should not be just saving. It should be genuine saving. Now, what is genuine saving? Genuine saving means from total saving is called gross savings. From gross savings or total savings, we have to minus two things from gross savings. We have to minus depreciation in man-made capital as well as depreciation in natural capital. Man-made capital like machinery factory we have made. So gross savings minus depreciation. Gross saving is total saving. Means whatever money we save, that is saving. Gross saving. Depreciation in man-made capital. So depreciation in man-made capital minus depreciation in natural capital. So gross savings equal to what? Depreciation in man-made capital minus depreciation in natural capital. Okay, so what is man-made capital? Like machinery factory. Yes. Normally when we say capital stock, as we told you, physical capital means machinery factory. So that is and technically when we minus this from gross, it will become net saving or net investment. Okay, so and when we minus natural capital depreciation also, we get genuine saving. But estimation of this natural capital is easy to know. It is very subjective. Even concept natural capital is also itself subjective. So capital means anything which assists in productivity. Now, what are the natural factors which assist in productivity? That is very actually subjective. Even concept is subjective. So practically not estimated. Just actually a theoretical concept. If we should minus depreciation in machinery factory, because normally savings are used for investment, which increases value of machinery factory. So we say gross investment means the money we have invested, and net investment means total investment minus the depreciation in machinery. So it shows net increase in value of machinery. So net investment, and from net we minus this also we get genuine savings. Okay, so just theoretical concept, not practically actually measured as such. Okay, these are indicators, and some other indicators are also there. Other is now threat to sustained development. So what are threats? Any doubt? Concept. Sustainable development means development that can be sustained in future. Very simple. The process of development which can sustain. And the problem which actually affects sustainability is the degradation of environment and depletion of resources. This is the process which should, in development, we have to take care of resources and environment so that that process will continue in future. So definition is that development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. It means that we shall meet our needs, we shall increase production of goods and services in such a manner which will continue, which will not compromise the ability of future generations. Resources should be saved. And teachers, I told you, production should increase, social welfare means we should develop, but taking care of environment. Simple. Okay, so three dimensions are there: social, economic, environmental. Now threats. So threats will make it more clear. So threats are one is actually depletion of resources, depletion of depletion of resources. And do we need resources for development or not? For producing? Yes, but if resources will be depleted, may not be there, then this development may not uh, be possible. Continue. Okay, and resources are of two types: renewable and non-renewable. So which is more important to say? Non-renewable because they have limited in quantity. So we have to be cautious, especially for non-renewable resources. Other is degradation of environment, degradation of environment. Degradation of environment, any example? Example like pollution, any type of pollution, air, water, etc. Others like deforestation. Okay, global warming is an impact rather. Other is like soil erosion, salination, etc. So lot of so in actually this is an interdisciplinary concept. Now this aspect actually we will discuss in geography and environment in detail. And one more thing which is related to this, what is that? That is actually loss of biodiversity. Loss of biodiversity. Like, animal species and plant species are increasing or decreasing. They are reducing in general. What is problem? If some plant and animal species may not be there in future, what will be problem? So problem could be that food chain may be affected actually. So food chain may be affected, and this it may affect ecological cycle. Ecological cycle will be affected, so it may lead to natural disasters. Apart from that, like we use some animals, plants for food and medicines, we won't have access to that food and medicine. So these are the problems. These are mainly interrelated things. So threats are mainly these. And now actually suggestions, now measures to promote sustainable development. Now how we can promote sustainable development? So as I told you, you will discuss mainly most of the dimensions in geography or environmental section. I'll give you a brief idea. First of all, relating to non-renewable resources, the cautious use of non-renewable resources, very simple, like petrol, diesel, etc. We should use coal within limits. One thing. Second, other is that we have to focus more on which non-renewable resources, like which like solar energy, wind energy, nuclear energy, etc. So that okay. Now, can we say we can use non-renewable resources to maximum possible? Not all. Like water is a renewable resource as such. But if we overuse water, then there will be scarcity of water also. Like ground water is water table is going down because of excessive actually withdrawal of groundwater. So even some resources have limits. So we have to take care of those limits. Other is that can we say technology may help in this? Yes, technology may help like because the cars, which conform to higher environmental norms like Bharat stage 4, 5, 6. So those actually cars they pollute less, and they consume more or less fuel, less fuel. So one resources could be saved, and other is pollution could be reduced. So technology can help actually in achieving this. Apart from that, regarding resources and other is that like in general, uh, environmental in general, this is we have to take care of the environment like laws etc. Enforcement should be improved. Other aspect say is like in industry we should not produce non-biodegradable things like polythene etc. Recently government has already banned. Other is actually now focus should be on recycling or mining, recycling rather than mining because two benefits are there. The mining will reduce our resources as well as and will make it more pollution. So recycling will save resources. On the other hand, will reduce pollution also. So mining in agriculture sector, organic farming and environmentally friendly techniques of production, natural farming, organic farming, zero budget natural farming, etc. So farming techniques should be such that okay, proper crop rotation, etc. Okay, now pure economic actually aspect. I will discuss 2 points from pure economic aspect. So economic aspect, one is product subsidies. Product subsidies to be replaced by direct benefit transfer. Product subsidies to be replaced by direct benefit transfer (DBT). So DBT, you might have heard of DBT, direct benefit transfer. Here, money is directly transferred, the subsidy in the account of beneficiary, instead of actually giving the subsidy on a product. Just like earlier, you were buying LPG, so government was giving subsidy on the LPG, so it was cheaper actually because a part was paid by government to company. The company was charging less from you. Now you have to pay full price of you have to pay full price for LPG cylinder, and then the amount of subsidy is transferred in your account. Okay, so what is benefit of it? Because product subsidy, why it should be abolished? It should be abolished because it promotes resource overuse. It promotes resource overuse and wastage. Product subsidy actually how? Because it reduces price. Rather, we can say product subsidy reduce price, and since price will reduce, this will create this problem. Product subsidy reduces price, and when things are cheaper, people overuse. Okay, like we will discuss demand curve. So when things are cheaper, people buy more in general. So when product subsidy reduce price, and when price is less, people overconsume. People don't bother much about because once LPG was subsidized, so people were misusing it very large scale. So people were using for not only for cooking but for heating, lighting, for running vehicles on that. So things are cheaper than they are misused. Just like electricity is subsidized, so bill is not much or bill is low, so hardly you bother about switching off your light. Okay, it's a matter of 3 4 hours. So when things are cheaper, people overuse that. So resource it leads to resource waste. So I think this clear. So this DBT we will discuss. This is very important scheme which will not reduce only leakages and mistargeting and other problem, but also is important for environmental conservation. Yes. Other thing is that poverty should be reduced. Poverty should be reduced. Achha, why poverty should be reduced? Because it is important for actually for we can say social welfare, obviously for social justice, and second thing for environmental conservation. Reason is that very poor people they pollute more or less, they create more pollution. Okay, so very poor people they actually degrade environment much. One example may be open defecation. Okay, so very poor people they degrade environment much actually, they create much pollution. Hmm? fuel wood, etc., like burning of things, etc. So they create much pollution. So poverty reduction is important not only for achieving social objectives but also for reducing pollution. Okay, so environmental conservation also. Okay, so other one point, next point, the second and third economic issue is that market linked approaches. Market linked approach rather. Market linked approach means what? In microeconomic concept, actually, I will discuss in detail how markets work. But do you think markets means the government would not intervene, leave it to demand and supply? Can it take care of environment? No. So government has to intervene to overcome this thing, because actually the example of market linked approach is that pollution taxes. Example of this is pollution taxes. So I will discuss in detail how markets work. There are in some areas market fail. So market actually fail to protect environment. Simple thing is that if government would not make norms for pollution, do you think some will take care of that? No, some won't take care of that. So like pollution taxes and actually subsidies for environment friendly technologies, for environment friendly technologies or products, technologies slash products. Like polythene is banned, to government may give subsidy for other alternative bags, etc. So subsidies for this. So government can actually intervene to create this, overcome this failure of market to achieve this. Okay. So market linked approaches, because market fail in this area also. So in detail I will discuss this one. So these are pure economic points. The, this product actually substitutes poverty, and other general points like if awareness among people should be increased, local bodies participation could be enhanced. Like in last year's budget, government announced one scheme, Govardhan. What is Govardhan? Like under that scheme, local bodies will promote this. They will cow dung will be put in a pit, and then it will make natural gas, as well as it will increase what natural gas, as well as compost will be produced by this. So I think it is clear. Okay, so this is all in this means today. So we'll continue then tomorrow. So this in this we have discussed actually what the concept only. Now tomorrow we'll continue with measurement, how we measure economic growth like HDI and other. Pollution taxes means if companies which are creating pollution, to government may impose some additional taxes on them.